Hello all, my name is Ashley Walker. So this video is designed to serve as a summary for the Multicultural Group Work on Field Excursions article. This article was published in the Journal of Geography and Higher Education in 2016, so it is fairly recent. However, the research itself was completed before being published, obviously. So it was probably completed late 2014 from what I can understand, because it was sent in late 2014 to be published. Now I'm going to make myself go away because I don't want to cover up any of the information that I have on the screen. But you will still be able to hear me. All right, so the abstract for the article included the quote you see on the screen, which says, as a response to the intercultural challenges of geography education, the study seeks to determine factors fostering intercultural competence of student teachers. Now, this sentence alone kind of frames the value and the purpose of the research. It is very straightforward what they sought to determine, but they don't really mention the communication implications. So I'll cover that myself. So in the article, they define intercultural competence as the ability to communicate effectively and appropriately in intercultural situations based on one's intercultural knowledge, skills, and attitudes. Although this article is higher education based, the research is designed for helping teachers and covering any needs that teachers have. There are a lot of concepts and ideas drawn from the communication studies. As you can see, in this theoretical framework, I'm going to make myself see again. One of the things to note here is that they're constantly mentioning the idea of communication. So if you see the desired external outcome and the desired internal outcome, both mention communication styles and behaviors. I'll give you a few seconds to peruse this graphic. You can also pause if you need more time. So the second theory that's placed here, which is intercultural sensitivity, was more applicable to the actual design of the research and the data analysis. So they used what's offered here in this framework to design how they're going to help students go from ethnocentrism to ethno-relativism. So the way that they did that is they used it to structure the learning of the students and to structure what they expected the students to learn. Again, I'll give you a few seconds to peruse that information, and you can pause if you need to. So for the design and procedure, the researchers focused on a small group of students from Germany and Turkey, and some of them were undergraduate students, some of them were graduate students, but they focused during a 1-week experiential learning. So during this experiential learning, the whole focus is cultural development and intercultural dynamic development. The students were interviewed in their native languages, following activities and following the actual experiential learning, the completion of the experiential learning. In their native languages were German and Turkish, respectively. The interviews were then coded and translated and placed into categories for application later to when they're doing the data analysis. So some of these categories included learning in small groups, discussions, overcoming prejudices, and changing perspectives of the students. Now, their studies concluded, and they actually found a lot of data that justified that increased cultural communication moves in stages, and they can actually help create introspection, reflection, and further communication within the groups. Some documented impacts included motivation to overcome language barriers and progress in intercultural competence, which we have the definition for earlier in the video. Furthermore, the use of communication approaches helped to limit miscommunication, and created opportunities for all participants to grow within their own groups, rather than be forced into consistency through homogeneous groups. Apologize. And the findings of the journal lean heavily on their use of communication figures and models. From my perspective, I think a deeper understanding makes the journal's findings a little more solid and concrete. And the heuristic nature of their goals and the long-term outcomes make the study more effective and more applicable across various fields. So the intercultural competence is not just important for teachers, but it is very valuable to teachers, and I think that's what the article sought to prove, and it was very effective in doing so, in my opinion. And that's pretty much it. I don't have a conclusion slide, but thank you for watching. Have a great day, evening. Let's close.